Hello, everybody. I am super excited to be back again with you. And those of you who are watching online or coming in person, those of you who are coming in person actually get to meet my next guest, which is Pastor Penelope Larry. Now, she is from the Sacramento area. She's also running for city government, which is really fascinating. And you had talked to me just a few minutes ago about really the history of the church that you're at. And so, can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yes, it's a very interesting story. I am co-pastor of the Potter's House Church, where my husband, Dr. Roy Larry, is the senior pastor, and it is his father who founded this ministry some 40 years ago. As a matter of fact, the location where the Potter's House Church sits has only been given over to religious things since it's been recorded by the city of Sacramento. So nothing else
Oh,
has happened on these grounds except it's been given over to Christianity. So I'm
wow.
excited about that. So we
Yes.
really do, when we say we are on holy grounds, we really are. And so about 7 years ago, my husband's dad retired from the ministry, just getting up in age, and decided to turn the church over to his son, his only son. And then my husband's first order of the day was to make me co-pastor. So that's how I got here. Wasn't a position I was vying for or even held my hand up for, but my husband said he wanted to make sure I was partnered in with him in the ministry from the onset, and so he made me co-pastor.
That's really amazing. And it must be a joy, although that probably has some challenges, right? But it must be a joy to have that kind of unity in your marriage, in your relationship, and then also inside the church. And that probably has to be a good model also for those that
Yes,
are under your care.
all of the above, because people of God really need to see strong leaders. They need to see strong marriages. And my marriage is strong today, but it's not because we have not been through a lot. And so 24 years, we just celebrated year 24
Oh,
last
congratulations.
week on February 28th. And so for a great portion of that, we have been on one accord. Pretty, and maybe about 8 years of the 24 years was very tumultuous, and so the fact that we are still together today is nothing but the grace of God. And so I'm so excited. And so maybe it was for such a time as this.
Right. And I think that's really a really great thing to bring up because often we have this perception of people that are in leadership that they don't have problems. And that if the problem comes along, we just like pray it away and then we merrily go on our way. And to have that authenticity of saying, okay, the trials make us stronger and draw us not only closer to God, but also closer to each other. And like you
Oh, yeah.
said, to have those models are important.
One of the pillars of our ministry is to be transparent. And
Yes.
so we do let people know what we have gone through. I'm of the mindset. I mean, God doesn't even use anybody except he sends them through something first, so that they can see their resiliency. They can see what is inside of them. And that's what I have seen now. I've seen what has been on the inside of me through all the trials and tribulations. And it's hindsight, what God was doing. But now I think it's important to let people know the real story about ministry, just about living this life of Christ, so that when people come here and they decide to get into what I call the fold, they're not here under false pretenses, think they're going to get over here. It's going to be a bed of roses. They're going to skip through the tulips. It's not going to be that. It's going to be everything but that. And it's just really learning to hear from and obey the voice of the Lord, I believe.
That's awesome. So what compelled you to run for city government?
Oh my God, Pastor, I had to hear from the Lord, okay, because it is not something that I had aspired to do. But one day I saw something in the community where I was living, and it moved me to do something. I was surprised myself. And as I was looking out as to what I could do, how I could be a blessing to the community where I worship, it came to me through someone else. Someone suggested, in order to make a change, why don't I run for city council for District 2? This is a district in Sacramento where the church is housed. I had never looked into anything governmental at all. And so I found out the process for entering into the race, entered into the race. And now, while as we are recording this on March 4th, the race will be over on March 5th. And so I'm excited. When I come to the conference, I will have a new something to say about myself. But in the meantime, I'm excited about where God has taken me in this place. he has been with me every step of the way, even in terms of bringing the right people to me to help me to navigate my way through this process. I call it a world, and it's a whole nother world over here. But now that I am in this world, I see that this world needs Christ. And so I understand why the Lord brought me here. So whatever the outcome is on tomorrow, and I am expecting to be victorious, but either whatever the outcome is, I will be victorious because I have obeyed the voice of the Lord.
Absolutely. And I love that just even running for a political position. So many people they're like anti-political
Yeah,
and yet God wants us in every area of society.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I remember a friend of mine who was a lawyer, and they said, "Why would you, how can you be a lawyer and be a Christian?" And they're like, "Well, we need more Christians in the courtroom, right?" And so just the same with politics is we need more Christians in politics. And I think that just you're running for government, being able to show how to do that with morals, and being able to be godly in this process and
yeah.
show people, that that there is a way to really reach out and support the people and be a Christian at the same time.
Right, right.
Absolutely,
The Bible
absolutely.
says a portion of, I believe it's in Isaiah 6 and 9, that the government would be upon his shoulders. And so there is a place that God does want us everywhere. And sometimes it just takes a bold move to hear from and obey God in those areas where he is not yet, but I have met some other Christians also um, in this race that have been praying for me, that have some that were in a race that were not successful
Mm,
in the office that they were running for, but God used it for something else. And so it's just been a tremendous blessing this entire journey.
that is awesome. That is really awesome. And so, can you tell? Do you have family besides your
I
hubby?
do. I do. I am married for, like I said, for the past 24 years. Together, we have three children who are all grown. My oldest daughter from my husband's first marriage, she just married last June, so excited about that. And then brought two children. Her husband brought two wonderful children to the marriage, and so we were instant grandparents.
Instant grandparents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, excited about that. And then I have a son. The only son that we have is he's 22 and he lives in Fresno, but just moved back to Sacramento
Hmm.
just last week, as a matter of fact, on our anniversary. So that was a good present too. And
Oh,
then we
wow.
have a daughter who is 19. She'll be 20 before the conference happens,
Wow, we
and
got a bunch
she's
of March
away at
birthdays.
university. Yeah, she's studying to be a psychologist in North
Oh,
Carolina. And so the
nice.
three of them are such a tremendous blessing to us. And I'll say without them, my husband and I, we probably wouldn't even be married because we went through so much. But except that there were times that we wanted to stay together for the children
Hmm.
or for the children's sake.
Right,
Those were times that we didn't divorce, but even in those times we just didn't stay together just for the sake of staying together. We really worked on our marriage to the
right.
point now where we have a cohesive relationship. Yeah, we're on one accord today. I'm excited about that.
That is
God can do
awesome.
anything. He
Yes.
can change anything if you have a willing heart. If I believe if you really trust God to be the head of your life, and you're not just saying that because it's a nice thing to say, but you really trust God, God can work everything out. And so he really did work it out in our relationship. If I tell you the stories, we wouldn't have enough time, but maybe we might get opportunity at the conference. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
someone wants to say something to me like, how did you stay in your marriage? I would be happy to answer that.
Yes. Yes, that's really great. Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
do have that struggle, please make sure you connect with her. And I have a friend who has a ministry now that's all about resurrecting marriages.
Mm.
And he was a pastor and left one Sunday morning and kissed his kids goodbye and went to church. And his wife and kids never showed up. And by the time he got home from church, she had left with the kids and cleaned out the house. And
Wow.
so, and he was shocked. He had no idea, but then he realized, he had some work to do and wasn't the world's
Yeah.
greatest husband. And they're
Right.
actually married today. And now they got remarried. And now they have this ministry of going and help. So God can do anything. He really can.
We
And
can. I
so,
can understand that. She did probably what I was thinking of and didn't have the guts to do it. So I get it. But there was a time where this 8-year period. that we were in a tumultuous relationship, the Lord kept saying to me, just trust me, just
Nice.
trust me, just over and over and over again. And I didn't get how to trust him because he just wasn't doing things quick enough for me.
Or that made
But
sense.
yeah, but once I decided to just trust him, just relax, whatever it is, because my way just was not working out. It took him about, I'll say, but between 2 to 3 years that everything got worked out just in the
Nice.
trust. So,
Nice.
yeah.
There's time. So I have this picture of Jesus, and there was a time that Jesus called me. He said, he held out his hand to me and he said, let's go play. And I'm like, oh,
Mm.
and so I used to think, oh, I just need to go play and I need to remember to play with Jesus, right? And I would tell people there's times when I'm curled up in the fetal position in the corner of my bed going, I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play.
Right. Yeah.
And those are just reality moments. And so I'm just really excited about having you come and share a little bit. I know that I believe that you guys also have like a side business kind of thing as well. And so you have a lot of different things that are going on and that you reach out into the community in a wide variety of ways. And we all have those areas that we reach that other people in Christendom can't reach, right? So yours are different than mine or different than the next person. And just to value those places where you have a voice into your community, I think is really fantastic. And so I look forward to
Thank
having you join us. And
I'm excited about the conference and I appreciate the invitation. I'm excited about meeting new women and new women of God and forging some new relationships also.
absolutely. So I'll actually get this posted ASAP and we'll get some prayer going for you in your race for tomorrow. How's that?
Okay, I appreciate that. Send
You're
me the
very
link so that I can post it up on my social media.
absolutely, absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Well, take care.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pastor. God
You're
bless
welcome.
you.
All right. God bless you.